Folks on the farm, sometimes it's a lot of work, but sometimes it's a real pleasure and a real honor to make your own hay, both for sale and for your own livestock to use on the farm. It's pretty cool. So today, because I'm a little bit more broken, there's been a difference in how we're doing activities and who's doing what. But regardless, I had time and I wanted to show you some drone footage of us working on the farm and show you what the process looks like for making hay. This is first crop 2024 being done in July, which I know is late, but we've had a lot of flooding and a lot of rain. And this is the 5090R John Deere with the small little Moco, the 680. And we're out cutting one of our 15-acre fields. It's got kind of a windiness to it, and it's a real pleasure to enjoy from the air. As you can see some of our barns there in the distance. In the upper right corner you can see just a little bit of the green of our new hay field that we had put in, where we put that long fence line in. If you follow our channel that we had just done, you can see that's coming in really well. Anyways, I thought I'd put this to a little bit of background music and just show you about 10-15 minutes of just how it really went and how it goes. So you can see I have to do some turning and some navigating to get it going. This is making hay. So the first thing I'm doing here is cutting it, which is great. It cut absolutely excellent. This 15 acres puts out probably about 80 bales. Somewhere around probably 50,000 pounds of hay per crop for us. See the farm there in the upper top with the solar panels, the main house there. It's just a beautiful night to be able to cut hay. So here we sit. It's Saturday, July 13th, and this hay was cut on Monday of this week. So literally about 6 days ago. I'm doing a pretty good clip here. I'm probably doing about 4 or 5 miles an hour. I think I can cut pretty much the whole field in probably about 4 hours, start to finish. We don't have the biggest mower conditioner for cutting, but it sure works well in our farm. So here is kind of the high shot when you go up to about 400 feet, which is the max that they'll let us fly our drone at when you take your licensure and get your FFA number and everything. FFA, shoot. That's Future Farmers of America. The FAA is what I meant to say. So here it is. 2 days later, this is Wednesday. One of my farm hands is on the 4066R. So again, 4066R. He's pulling a 16-foot Pequot tedder, and he's out teddering it. We're not going to take a chance on how well it dries or not, because we've had so much rain and it's so thick and tall. We're knocking it apart. Typically we're tethering around 3 to 5 miles an hour. It's kind of a fun job to tether. You basically get to make a mess out of the field. Sure is fun to see it from this view. We can pick on them from this view and say, oh, there's a spot you missed. So here's the shot from about 400 feet up. Kind of cool to see. You can see all the areas he's tethered. You can see how much the field kind of turns and works its way back into the lower part, which is pretty cool. Say to tether out the field probably takes you 2.5 hours. If it's light hay, you probably get it done in 2. If it's heavy hay, it's probably going to take you 2.5, 3. It's really a fun job to do, though. I'm sure Owen had a great time doing it. It's a heck of a lot better than splitting wood and digging out ditches. So again, we cut it on Monday. We tethering on Wednesday here. And we continued through with a game plan towards Saturday. However, the weather changed on us and they told us Saturday was going to rain. So I had to jump ship real quick on Friday, kind of organize my family, and Friday afternoon take the field. Did pretty good, averaged 14.2 on the moisture, and pulled in about 52,000 pounds of hay. So now this is Friday at about noon. I believe this is my bride behind the other 4066R, and she is running a combination rake that we've had on the property for a while. If you want to see videos on it, you can. It's an Italian company rake. I absolutely love it. She's got it set to the left right now, so she's kicking it all into the field, which is what we want. So she's doing a left-hand rake, and she's starting to rake it up for me, which is absolutely fantastic. Actually, as I look at it, I correct. My wife must have already gone around with the left-hand rake. This is my daughter Anna again in the second 4066R, coming with the center rake. She is actually making the roll out of what my wife already rolled in. So again, this is not the left-hand rake. I apologize. It's a tricky job to do because if you don't rake a field right, you make it miserable for the baling team. She does a really good job. Anna's a very good raker. So my wife has already come through with the left-hand rake and kind of kicked in the inside already. And Anna is taking that and making a row out of it and center wind rowing. So she's doing a really good job here. Raking speed. We run our rakes about 380 to 400 RPMs. That's as fast as we go. So in a hydrostatic tractor like this, you're probably going about maybe 4 miles an hour. It's not real fast, but I find that it doesn't wreck the tines if you bump something. It doesn't kick up as much bounce, which means your rake isn't bouncing in and out of the ground. It isn't as hard on your wheels and your bearings. We find we do good work that way. Alright, so this is Friday afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My son and I are in the baler, and we are out making hay. This is the 5090R, and it's pulling the mega wide baler on it. And we are actually got the baler set small. We are making horse, goat, and small homestead bales for people. So this part of the field that we're in, we pop out about a 4x4 bale. We actually have it set at 50 inches high. Weighs about 650 to 700 pounds. It's easy to put in a pickup. It's easy for people to roll around their small farms and homesteads. This field is all Timothy, brome, and clover. So it's a really nice field with no alfalfa in it. So for those homesteaders that have goats and sheep and horses that don't want the alfalfa, this works out great. I find this bale to be quite advantageous for them to move around and quite profitable for the farm. Now we use these same bales, but on our farm we can make them bigger or smaller depending upon our needs. But particularly at this point, I'm making this section here for sale. The field that's next to it, which is the big field, I keep a lot of that for myself. But again, this field here, I like to cut and sell it all if I can. See here, we're making a bale right as I speak. It's so cool to be in the drone and watch the clouds go by. You can see the sun coming and going. There you go, just made a bale. Baling process for me is probably 5 hours if I'm going like a crazy man, 6 if I'm going normal, 7 if I'm going slow. I like to bale around 1800 RPMs, probably no more than 2080. 2000 580 is probably pushing about 520 on the RPMs out the butt, going to the baler. But 1800 is where I like it best. 1800 is pushing probably about 480, 490 for RPMs out to the baler. I find that works about the best, but again, sometimes you get into a bind. And you got to go faster depending upon the weather in your day. So this section's all been raked up, and I'm popping out bales. This is where it kind of gets fun to watch on the video, because as you're going to see here, you can see the baler working and the center windrow rake working all at the same time, which is kind of cool. And now that I'm actually excuse me, popping out bales and putting them on the ground, in a few minutes you're going to see one of our other small utility tractors coming in and double bucking these back up to the storage barn, which is our Quonset. There goes a gator right through the middle of it. My kid's driving really fast and crazy. Farm life, it's dangerous. Anyway, so here we are in the back area. My daughter's is picking up bales. She's putting 2 bales on a John Deere, and then she's taking them up to the Quonset. Up at the Quonset, my kids are up there. They've got the mini skid steer Outlaw with a bale fork on it, and they're grabbing them from where these guys drop them off, and they're putting them into storage. We keep all the bales indoors, even the ones we sell. They're all wrapped with a B-wrap, which is nice, so we can set them directly on concrete. We don't have any problems that way. And for people who buy our bales, they can stick them outside, and the B-wrap sheds water and does not allow sunlight on 90% of that surface of that bale. All that can have sunlight is the ends, and if you butt the ends up together, boy, you're really in good shape. It saves so much more hay. It's absolutely fantastic. She's got a little bit of a drive, I'd say probably a half a mile here that she's got to go to get from the field back up to the Quonset, where she can get it up there and the team can take the bales from her. She bucks 2 at a time. That seems to be the most advantageous for her. This is my daughter Tabitha doing it. She's very good at bucking hay. Works out well to have her bringing in the bales for everybody. I have no idea why she stopped here. She must have something she's adjusting, or somebody called her or something. Who knows? But she's going to drive this up to the barn. You're going to see her there in just a second. See if I can switch views here. So again, she's picking up. This is another section that she's picking up in. And this one here, she's heading up to the Quonset, so I can show you where it looks like from above. Here you can see the balers on the main field now. And I'm going to keep all these bales for myself, just because I like them. The bottom field makes good hay too, but I've got them set a little differently, like I said, for people who want to buy them. I think it's absolutely neat to have drone ability in a farm. Just really cool to be able to see it all from the air. So she's going to cut through a trail here that we've got in the trees. She's going to head her way up to the barn, and folks, I'll leave you with a parting shot here as we're putting away the hay. So as you can see, she's got some hay bales outside. They've got the skid steer sitting between the 2 buildings if they need it. The mini skid there is picking up a bale right now. You can see it taking it out. And the mini skid can take it into this building. This building was built in 1950. It's only got an 8-foot ceiling in it, so it's really hard to bring the tractors in it. But the mini skid, it works perfect to take it in. Certainly really appreciate you guys watching, but this is our process of how we cut it, how we tethered it, how we raked it, how we baled it, and then how we pick it up and get it into the barns. Thank you for watching, folks. Please like, subscribe, and follow on. We'll keep showing you our wonderful homestead.